Aloha and good morning. I wish that I would remember to start videotaping things, before I am halfway through the project. Nevertheless, today I'm making some comfrey fermented plant juice, hopefully, while I've already cut the comfrey leaves and washed them, and they're very furry. They have this funny, I think this is how they invented Velcro, because it sticks to the towel. So I washed it and I'm drying it off because part of the process includes adding brown sugar to the, I probably won't use that one, it's a little bit drier than I thought. But we're trying to get all the juices out of these leaves because comfrey grows like a weed, and we want to add that vigorousness to our garden. So I have already started to chop up. That's quite a bit of comfrey. This is my grandson's composting bucket that he made at his beach school. But yeah, so I have quite a bit of this, and then I'll get to the next step shortly. Hi again. So before I continue on with the fermented plant juice, I have a funny story I have to share, which actually was the impetus for the beginning of the greenish thumb, which was when I first made the attempt to make fermented plant juice. I made a mistake and I sealed the top of the jar and left it for probably 3 months, which is not how you make fermented plant juice at all. And so I'm grateful that I have a friend named Alika, and I gave him a call and said, hey, I'm not sure what I've made here, but can I still use it? And he said, what does it smell like? And I said, oh, I haven't even opened the jar. So I smelled it, and he said, does it smell like vinegar? And it did smell like vinegar. So I was starting to make fermented plant juice vinegar. So I've since had it in a bigger jar, added water, and I have been letting it ferment for the last couple of weeks, probably at least a month, and it still smells like vinegar. Actually, it smells quite strongly of vinegar. So I now have comfrey homemade vinegar, and I can use that when I make the other water-soluble calcium. So I wouldn't necessarily use this to drink as vinegar or to use in cooking because it doesn't smell like it's going to taste very good, but it'll be very good for the plants. Comfrey has lots of magical qualities, so I'm super excited. See all the bubbles on top? It's doing really good. So today I unleash my vinegar, and then I'm going to make fermented plant juice in this jar. But I thought I would share that little moment of oopsie that turned into a good thing, because I feel like a lot of us make mistakes in gardening, and well, I certainly do. And so that's why I thought, well, let's start greenish thumb. Green enough, yeah? So, all right, one moment while I prepare my vinegar, and then I'm going to get back to the fermented plant juice. Okay, so now that I've got all of my comfrey leaves chopped up, I've got some brown sugar. That's all you need. You just measure it out by weights. I have a little kitchen scale, and I turn it on and make sure that I put equal parts of comfrey to brown sugar. And quite a bit of comfrey, and as the we mix the brown sugar in, it will shrink. So I'm just gonna put in about 400 grams of comfrey, and then add about 400 grams of brown sugar. Now comes the fun part. So you just sort of mush it together. You mush out all the brown sugar and the comfrey, and what happens is some kind of a chemical reaction happens where the brown sugar will pull out the liquid from the comfrey and pull all that nutrients or the unseen magical nutrients in the comfrey out of the plant and into the solution. So it's already starting to get wetter, and I've really just only started. So we mash it all in, half and half, 1 part to 1 part, 1 part plant to 1 part brown sugar. You can also use other fast growing plants that are kind of like weeds and to make fermented plant juice. Things like, well, banana flowers, but that's not a weed. That's just, it's a very fast growing. It has all those great nutrients in it. We have a lot of purslane here, which is even more pervasive and juicy. And but comfrey, because it's a nitrogen fixing plant, it makes for quite a superior fermented plant juice if you're able to use it. So because we have quite a bit of comfrey in our yard, I decided to use it. Now, it would be better if we had a larger mouthed, obviously for this reason alone, but a larger mouthed jar. But since this is all I have, that's what we're going to use, because it's going to work just great. So as you can see, there's already moisture. Oh, making a mess. Wow. Nobody said gardening was going to be tidy and clean. Now, did they? So this will all fit. In fact, even more will fit in here. But since that's what I've got, I'm going to go ahead and use that. And the secret to this phase is you want to push it down, and then you want to put a brown sugar cap, they call it, on top of the, because what's going to do is it's going to create kind of a tension, it's the weight. Oops, maybe a little too much. No, that's good. Because you kind of want it to seal itself. And then, this is the part where I made the mistake the last time. What you're going to do now is just take a napkin and put a rubber band or a coffee filter or a paper towel or a washcloth, something that will allow air to flow, and then you cover this, and then you leave it sit in a quiet place for about a week, and then you're going to strain it and spray it on your plants. So when this is ready, I'll do another video to sort of explain that more, because the truth be told, I've never actually done that. I know you have to water it down, 1 part fermented plant juice to 1,000 parts of water. I know you can put other things in with it too. So I'm going to learn a little bit more before I do that, but just wanted to start the new year with a fresh batch of fermented plant juice. This one I'm going to give away to my friend who helped me figure out my dilemma with the vinegar, and make myself a little batch too. So when you're done, like I strained out the vinegar, and there's some leaves that weren't that healthy. I just put this in a container to take out to my compost pile or to feed to my worms, because the nitrogen fixing elements are still there. It's really good for your compost. Okay, that's fermented plant juice 101 from me, your greenish thumb. Let's see how this works out. I'm excited to put this in my garden. Aloha. One last thing to remember. You probably want to label your, oh, it's backwards. I don't know how to make it not do that, but your jars with the date and what's in there, because they'll start to look funky after a while. But take a look at this FPJ. It's already all liquid down here at the bottom. It's doing that thing where the pressure of the brown sugar is helping extract the FPJ. It's very exciting.